Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel, and this is another video in my Weight Watchers success tip video series. And I have not filmed one of these in a while, but I have two more videos at least that I know I want to do for this series. So this one is my pantry essentials. I get asked a lot about what are my must-have items, what do I always have to have a backup of in my pantry, and same with my refrigerator freezer stuff, so that'll be the next video. But I just get a lot of questions about this, so I thought this would be perfect. So I went through kind of, different grocery lists that I had kept, and I looked at my pantry and like, what do I always have to have? And that is what I'm going to share with you today. I have 17 items. I'm not going to actually show them to you because it would just take too long, but I will link down the playlist for all of my Weight Watchers favorites, or Weight Watchers empties. I think it's what I call them, Weight Watchers empties. So I will link the playlist down below, and it kind of shows you the different things that I have and that I have used and what I've thought about them. So I will leave a link to that playlist down below. But if there is a particular brand that I like, I will tell you that. There's only just a few things that there's brands that I prefer, but if there is one, I will let you know and let you know why. Other than that, let's just get going. So I have 17 things. Again, that's a weird, odd amount, but that's just what I came up with. So number one is a PB2. This is the powdered peanut butter. If I think about, I will try to make sure I put pictures of some of these things up there that may be unusual that you've never heard of. Now, normally I was buying the PB2 brand until I discovered that Walmart has their own version of it. And I know there's like a PB Fit, which I can't find anywhere in my town. But I bought the large. I have a very large container of the one got from Walmart for like $9.99, which is an amazing price because just the regular size, at least in my area, the regular size PB2, which is not a very big bottle, is like $6.99, $5.99, $6.99. So the gigantic thing that I got is like a 2-pound tub at Walmart for $9.99. Was amazing, and I'm still going through it, and I've had it for months and months. You don't have to use very much. 2 tablespoons is a serving. One smart point, I like it just as much as I like to use it, depending on what I use it in. But when I put it in yogurt or just put it on English muffin, it is no different than like a regular nut butter to me. It is only just the nuts itself. So it does, if you want to add a little salt to it or a little sweetener to it, but I don't have to do that because I was used to just regular peanut butter, like natural peanut butter with no sugar in it anyway. What was I going to say about it? I don't remember. Oh, as far as the difference between the Great Value Walmart brand and the PB2 brand, there isn't. I believe the Walmart one actually has less calories in it, but as far as the points and all the ingredients are exactly the same. So PB2. Number 2, nut butters. So I do prefer almond butter over any other kind of nut butter. Although, have I tried? No, I had tried cashew butter, which I thought I would like better because I love cashews, but I do prefer almond butter. I don't buy them very often because it is something that is harder for me to control. So I don't like to keep things in my pantry that are hard for me to not eat and binge on, or if I don't have the points for, because it's a very, they cost us a lot of points. Because they are dense in calories, they are good for you. So what I try to do sometimes is just pick up a couple little packets of almond butter. So you can get like the Justins, they sell little packets of them. Sometimes that's what I'll do, or if I can find a very small jar of it, I'll buy that. But it is just hard for me to keep in the house, so I just keep regular peanut butter for the family. My son does prefer the natural peanut butter, so I do keep that. But he did like almond butter for a long time, but honestly, it was hard for me to have in the house because I would want it all the time. But it is a nice thing having it. It's healthy for you, has the healthy fats. So I do strongly recommend any kind of nut butter to have, but just make sure it has no added sugars, and it is just the ingredients. It's just the nut and salt if you prefer that. So that's it. Number 3, this is the only item that I really do prefer to have organic. I try to buy it organic when I can, but if the price isn't right, I have to be on a budget. I mean, that's just reality in my life. But raw organic honey is something that's number 3, raw organic honey. That is really the only thing I really try to buy. Well, mostly raw, the organic part, not so much, but I like it to be the raw honey. I think it tastes better. It's thicker. You get more out of it for your points, but I love the taste of raw honey. So that is one thing that I do spend a little bit more money on, but I don't go through it very often. I just use it in my yogurt more often. That's it, really. So I don't really use it a lot because, again, it's kind of higher points, but I do like to have it in my in my yogurt. Sometimes I will put it on my grapefruit as well. But 1 teaspoon is 1 smart point, and 1 teaspoon of honey actually goes pretty far. Number 4, protein powder. I do like to keep protein powder in my pantry. I don't have a lot of protein shakes. When I do, it's sometimes like kind of like a Friday treat because I am on the bandwagon of no count blended fruit for Weight Watchers. So, but I do like to keep it to a minimum just because I know I can overdo it on the fruit and smoothies. But I also like to keep protein powder on hand for baking and cooking and things like that as well. So there's 2 brands that I really, really like, and that is the Quest brand, which is a whey protein, which I do notice occasionally with whey protein, it kind of can upset my stomach just a little bit. So I have to be careful with any protein bars or protein powder that has the whey protein in it. Now when I cook with it, it doesn't bother my stomach as much. It's just when I have it in a smoothie. The other kind of protein powder that I like that is a vegetable-based or plant-based, which is Purely Inspired protein powder. So I really enjoyed that as well. Now it is more points. The Quest powder is 2 points versus 1 point. Quest powder is only 1 point. The Purely Inspired is 2 points. So far, I do like to try to keep so far I've tried 2 flavors of the Purely Inspired, which is the chocolate and the vanilla. I do prefer the vanilla. I do have some chocolate in there now I'm trying to use up, but I think I need to pick up some vanilla because I haven't had any vanilla in a while. As far as the Quest powder, I love, love, love their peanut butter powder. But again, it's one of those things where it doesn't let you have a lot of variety. So I have stopped buying the peanut butter flavor, and I just use the vanilla flavor with some PB2 to add any peanut butter flavor if I want to have a kind of a peanut butter flavored shake or baking good or something. But I do highly recommend having protein powder in your pantry, again, for either cooking or for smoothies. Number 5, unsweetened cocoa. You can do a lot with unsweetened cocoa. Again, I use it for baking. I use it for I love making mug cakes. I put them in there. Yeah. Unsweetened cocoa, just something I always have in my pantry. Number 6, canned beans. I love really any kind of beans. I would say my favorite are black beans, chickpeas, white beans, pinto beans, and those are probably the ones I use the very most. I do try to have kidney beans in there if I want to make a taco soup or a chili. With canned beans, I try to buy always no salt added, but those are kind of hard to find sometimes in my area, so I'll try to find the reduced sodium. If I can't find those, then I buy the organic kind. So, but I always rinse and drain them whether they are low sodium or not. But I always try to have some kind of canned bean in my pantry because you can do so much with it. Salads, you can even like smush them up and put them in sandwiches. I mean, there's so much you can do with canned beans. So always have some beans in there. Plus there's 0 smart points now on Freestyle. So it is always good to have a 0 point option available. Number 7, oats. I love oatmeal, but it does not fill me up, so I'm starting to use it now more for a snack, and I just do like a half-size portion rather than a full size. Even if I put peanut butter in it, if I put egg whites in it, if I put an egg on top of it, it does not keep me full, and it kind of makes me want to have more like carby stuff throughout the day, but I love it. I know it's good for you, so I do try to throw it in smoothies so I can still get the benefits of it, or I'll just kind of have it for a mid-morning or midday snack or something sometimes. So it works good for that. If I don't have a large portion, I just have a small portion. I love overnight oats. I do heat those up. So I did do a video on overnight oats. I will try to remember to link those down below. I believe I did a video on there. I might have done a couple of them, but I'll see what I can find, and I'll link anything down below that I mentioned. Oats are great also for meatballs, meatloaves, or just a quick meal. Number 8, I put these all together. So quinoa, rice, and lentils. Those are 3 things I always have in my pantry. I love, love, love quinoa so much. I did actually overnight oats with quinoa, so I will link that down below. Quinoa doesn't only have to be savory, it can also be sweet, and also for breakfast. It is actually very good. Try it. Quinoa is so good for you as protein, as fiber. I also keep brown rice. I usually keep an instant brown rice and then a regular bag of brown rice. Brown rice takes a very long time to cook, so that's why I keep the instant. I'm not a fan really of the instant, but I will use it if I need it in a pinch. Lentils, I love lentils. I usually keep some kind of green lentils and red lentils on hand. They're really good to cook for salads and or just to have. There's a lentil taco that's really good. I don't think I ever did a recipe video on that, but lentil tacos are really good. If you want to see a recipe video, if I have not done one, let me know and I will do one. Number 9, olive oil. So I do prefer to cook with olive oil when I use it. Mostly I use cooking spray, but olive oil is something I also like to use in dressings. So it is just my oil of choice. I've never actually tried avocado oil, which I've heard is also good for you. So if I ever see that for a good price, I may pick that up and try it out. But I know both of those oils are really good for you. Number 10, applesauce. I always keep some sort of unsweetened applesauce in my pantry, whether it is a big thing of it or the little cups. I do prefer to keep little cups just because I don't eat it that often anymore, but they are great for a quick snack, or you can use it in baking, which is what I used to do a lot with, was use it in baking. But I also like to have it for a snack. It is 0 smart points, so it is an easy, quick snack that you can grab. But I always like to keep one or the two in my pantry at all times. Number 11, canned fruit and veggies. So I like to eat fresh when I can when it comes to fruit, but we don't always get the best fruit around here. So I always do keep a few cans of like peaches and pears are like my 2 favorite canned fruits, and I keep those in there. I always get the no sugar added, or packed in water, or the no sugar added, like just packed in their own juice. Oh, pineapple is another one I keep canned. So as far as vegetables, my favorite vegetables to keep canned is green beans. It's really weird, like, you know, the green beans you buy fresh in the produce section. I don't like those as well, like, unless I am baking them in a dish that I do make, a casserole that I make occasionally. But other than that, I do like canned green beans, and I always buy the no salt added. Other than that, those are really the only vegetables that I ever buy canned. I do buy canned corn every once in a while because I'm going to use it in a recipe, but for the most part, I always buy frozen when it comes to corn. So usually the only canned veggies I buy are green beans, and then just a few canned fruit items I keep on the shelf just in case I need something and I couldn't find a good quality in the stores. Number 12, tomato products. I keep a lot of tomato products in my pantry. I keep tomato sauce, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, fire roasted tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, because I do make my own marinara sauce. I don't ever buy marinara sauce in the jar because it has points, and there's no reason to put sugar and all that salt in there, so I just make my own super easy. So I do I do keep all of those tomato products, plus they're easy in a pinch to like just put into any kind of sauce, but I always just have one backup at least of each one of those in my pantry at all times. Even if I don't plan on using it, if I don't see a can, I'll just pick it up just to keep it in my pantry. Spices. I don't think I did a dedicated video on when I redid my spice cabinet. I will look and see. I think it was within a vlog. But I have a lot of spices, and I just recently redid all my spices. But spices are so important to flavor your food, especially when we are trying not to maybe add a lot of salt in the food, which is what I don't. I don't salt my food. I use spices in place of that. I salt a little bit, but I don't like I do a little bit when I'm cooking, and that's it. But I really love to use spices. I love to make my own spice packets. So like taco seasoning packets, ranch seasoning, the Italian seasoning stuff. I always try to make my own, so I keep a lot of spices on hand. I get a lot of my spices at Trader Joe's when I can make it up there. Other than that, my spices I just get wherever I can get them, and I always try to have a backup of my favorites. Probably my favorites are like, well, the Trader Joe's ones, you guys know all of those ones, my favorites. I'll try to link a couple of Trader Joe's hauls down below too. You can see my favorite spices in those, but other than those type of spices, I do always have garlic powder, onion powder, Italian herbs. I love to use cumin in spicy stuff, so I go through a lot of cumin. I go through a lot of chili powder, a lot of cayenne, because I make taco seasoning a lot. So spices, just buy them when you see them on sale. I know they can be kind of spendy, but just make sure also that they don't have any fillers in them. Just look at the ingredients and make sure they don't have sugar in them, because regular just spice should not have sugar in there. Number 14, vinegars. That's another thing I have a ton of. It's kind of like tomato products. I have like every type of tomato product that you could think of. Vinegars are the same way. And I use them for the same reason as the spices. They add a flavor to your food. So I looked in my pantry. I have a rice vinegar, which I use in like Chinese type foods. or stir fries, things like that. I have white vinegar, which I use for cleaning, but I also use it in like salad dressings and things like that. Red vinegar, again, in like salad dressings or just to dress up a salad in general. Balsamic vinegar, I love to make marinades out of that. I also make marinades out of all of these. I use the rice vinegar for like Thai or Chinese cooking marinades if I'm making the chicken. But I use all these for marinades. So I have every single one of these vinegars in my pantry. Number 15, I keep canned chicken or tuna. I'm not a huge tuna fan. I want to be, because I feel like I see these people with all these, you know, different tuna packets, and just it sounds so good, and then I try it and it's just like, I'm just not a tuna fan. I'm just not a fish fan, and even though I try it all the time. But I do try to keep canned chicken and tuna. My family eats the tuna. But I do try to keep that in my pantry all the time. My favorite canned chicken by far is the kind from Costco. It's just white chicken breast, 0 smart points. I love it. The quality is good. It tastes good. It doesn't ever look weird, smell weird, nothing like that. But I do like to keep it on hand to make a quick chicken salad, that kind of thing, which actually I think I need to pick some up because I think I am out. So I need to add that to my list on my refrigerator. Number 16, broths. So I use chicken broth, vegetable broth, and beef broth the most. I don't use the beef broth myself too much because I don't eat a lot of beef. I just don't like beef all that well. So but I do use it for the family. I use a lot of chicken broth and a lot of vegetable broth. I always buy the low sodium versions of either one of them. I try to buy free range chicken broth because I think it just tastes heartier, looks better. But I also use it for sauteing in place of butter or oil. So if you are just sauteing up some vegetables for something, just put a little tiny broth in there, and it just works just as well as anything else. I also use it for cooking rice, quinoa, and lentils. So if I know it's going to be for a savory meal for those, then I do use broth in place of water. But sometimes I use rice or quinoa in more like sweet dishes or breakfast dishes. I've been trying to experiment with that a little bit. So then I don't use broth in those meals. I use water for them. But for the most part, if I have some broth on hand, that's why I always like to keep broth on hand. So when I'm cooking up rice and quinoa, I always use broth instead of water. So try that and make sure rice and quinoa are just that much like heartier and more flavorful. And number 17, whole wheat pasta. And also I guess I'll just do pasta in general because I do like to keep whole wheat pasta and brown rice pasta and lentil pasta. So I get the lentil pasta and the brown rice pasta usually at Trader Joe's. I try to stock up when I'm up there. When I keep saying up there is because I have to drive like about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the closest Trader Joe's. So I only go like once a month, but I haven't been in months. I need to do that. Anyway, I do try to keep some kind of pasta in my pantry, just again for, you know, you never know, just something to have on hand because pasta is so easy and quick to, you know, throw together if you are in a pinch. So I do like I said, I do like the brown rice pasta, I do like lentil pastas and just whole wheat pastas. So I always try to keep something on hand. So there are my pantry essentials. Please let me know down below what you keep in your pantry at all times and just give us some ideas and we can add on to this list. And I hope you enjoyed this video and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye guys.